a more backward kind of thinking than this. But as I said, when you put ignorance and bad mind together, very dangerous, because they don't want the Jamaica Labour Party to have the political credit. He would rather deprive the people of their park for political power for themselves.
Up to late last evening, there was still uncertainty as to who won the runoff in Western Westmoreland to be the standard bearer for the governing Jamaica Labour Party in the upcoming general elections. At the end of Sunday's voting at the Little London and the Grange Hill High Schools in the parish, Jamaica Labour Party General Secretary Dr. Horace Chang says the party is satisfied the democratic process worked well and thanks to all workers who participated in the vote. Dr. Chang noted that a review of the results will be carried out by the party secretariat today. Then the outcome will be formally announced. More from Marjorie Gordon.
It would seem the voters who turned out for Moreland Wilson had one message to deliver if the votes did not go in their representative's favour.
If Mr. Moreland Wilson does not win today, we will not be working with Mr. James. So there will be a split, as you can see. So if he does not win today, then we will be supporting Mr. Ian Hales. The winnings will be going on the other side if Mr. Wilson does not win today.
And while up to news time it was not clear who won the runoff, the dissatisfaction that there was a runoff in the first place was quite obvious.
And we are sending a clear message to the Prime Minister that should Mr. Wilson lose this today, there will be no seat for them, for the Jamaica Labour Party in Western Westmoreland. We will be going independent, and if Mr. Wilson is not willing to go independent, no vote. Because I carry a lot of weight in my PDs, my division, and I will tell my people, my labourers, that is PMP running, no labourers will be, and they will lose. The Jamaica Labour Party will lose.
Meanwhile, a former councillor for the Little London division tried to shed some light on why the voters, particularly those for Mr. Wilson, were so angry.
But Mr. Wilson, who we admire, did not live up to expectations, and there are so many disputes all over the constituency that the backing for the people at large isn't there. When you look at, for example, that there are 5 council divisions in the constituency, and not one of those leaders, not one is taking up, is backing Mr. Wilson. It speaks volume.
He had this to say about Wilson's contender.
The people are strongly of the opinion that Mr. James would serve the constituency better. He has this kind of communication across the constituency. You know, that has popularized him in a number of ways.
A Westmoreland man was at the weekend charged following the seizure of an illegal firearm and ammunition. Police in the parish say 32-year-old Ricardo Kerr was on Saturday charged with possession of a prohibited weapon and unauthorized possession of ammunition. Carr was reportedly arrested last Friday during a police operation in Strathbogie, Westmoreland, where he was searched and found in possession of a 9mm pistol with a loaded magazine tucked in his waistband. He was approached after officers reportedly saw a group of men acting suspiciously. Carr is set to appear in the Westmoreland Parish Court later this month. Police say they have since ramped up patrols and spot checks in the area. A Portmore man is dead following an incident on the Flat Bridge in St. Catharines Sunday. He's since been identified as 64-year-old Noel Patterson of Honeysuckle Place, Portmore Pines, St. Catherine. Patterson succumbed to injuries received after his vehicle plunged into the Rio Cobre. Reports from the Spanish Town Police are that at about 10:41 Sunday night, Patterson was driving a Hiace bus along the roadway. He, however, lost control of the vehicle whilst negotiating the flat bridge and plunged into the river. Residents fished him from the water and summoned the police and fire brigade. Attempts were made to resuscitate him. However, all efforts proved unsuccessful. He was transported to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie is calling on the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation to collaborate with the Tax Administration of Jamaica, TAJ, to boost property tax compliance in the parish. The minister was speaking recently at the corporation's monthly meeting in Black River, where he acknowledged that while last year's collection target was exceeded, more can be done. To international news now, a high-stakes antitrust trial against social media giant Meta is set to begin in Washington this week. U.S. regulators allege the company's acquisitions of Instagram and WhatsApp were strategic moves to crush competition and secure a monopoly over the social media landscape. We have more from the BBC.
Landmark antitrust suit by the Federal Trade Commission against Meta is finally getting its day in court later. The FTC first brought the case against Meta, the parent company of Facebook, Instagram and WhatsApp, in 2020. After a series of delays and appeals, Judge James Boasberg will now listen to several weeks of testimony. The FTC alleges that the social media giant illegally monopolized the market through its purchases of Instagram and WhatsApp, pushing out legitimate competition. With more, here's our technology correspondent, Lily Jamali.
For more than a decade, Mark Zuckerberg and Sheryl Sandberg grew Meta into a behemoth. What started simply as Facebook became a social media empire. But the U.S. Federal Trade Commission says they built that empire by buying smaller upstarts to maintain their monopoly.
So the idea is that, Mark Zuckerberg perceived these competitive threats and sought to neutralize them by acquiring the companies, merging with them.
In 2012, the company bought photo-sharing app Instagram for $1 billion. It purchased the messaging service WhatsApp, reportedly for $19 billion 2 years later. At trial, Zuckerberg and Sandberg are expected to testify about those acquisitions. If Meta is found in violation of antitrust laws, Instagram could end up being spun off from Facebook's parent company.
And you might see competition between those two companies, and that might be good for consumers.
In a statement to the BBC, the company said the FTC's lawsuit against Meta defies reality, adding, "The evidence at trial will show what every 17-year-old in the world knows. Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp compete with Chinese-owned TikTok, YouTube, X, iMessage, and many others." The FTC filed its antitrust case against Meta during the first Trump administration. Now, ahead of the trial, the once frosty relationship between Zuckerberg and Trump has thawed.
We take a break. Sports is next.